Hello and good afternoon. You are now listening to your guide, the Sports Judge. We're hanging out here. Breaking news: Matt Eberflus has been fired after an ugly loss to the Detroit Lions on Thanksgiving Day. It was the team's sixth loss in a row. I was scrolling on social media this morning. I read a post this morning on the Die Hard Chicago Bears fans page. Shout out to them. It was an interesting post that read, "The world can see what Ryan Poles doesn't see. Matt Eberflus is a terrible coach." I saw that post. A lot of you weren't alone in having strong reactions. It's been another week of tensions running high as the Bears lose another game because their coach, like always, blew another game. Immediately following that loss, my initial thoughts were, how do you even let this guy get on the plane to go home? There was simply no excuse for the coaching staff to allow the game to end that way on Thursday. None at all. Another mistake was made by Flus, and that's why the game ended the way it did. Horrific coaching, absolutely horrific. They could have won that game on Thanksgiving Day. Bad coaching led to the Bears losing that game. And that's been the story all year with Chicago, right? The talent is there. I've said to you guys a few weeks ago when I watched the Bears and when I talked about the Chicago Bears that bad coaching had led to back-breaking mistakes. So in this game, Matt Eberflus once again was the guy who stepped in the way, and now he's gone. In some ways, I think Caleb Williams really does a good job of willing his team into competitive contests with a ton of issues around him. He was getting beat up and abused all day, but kept fighting the fight. Maybe I'm wrong about Caleb. Maybe after looking at this, maybe he's a franchise savior and would win this team so many games now that the coach who was incompetent got canned. It was clear Eberflus was holding them back. Finally, the coach who had a history of deflecting responsibility can now go away. His BS talk finally caught up with him when the world saw the team could actually compete. In the least surprising move ever, the Bears have parted ways with him. No way he was surviving after yesterday's debacle on national TV. This lets me know that GM Ryan Poles saying, I'm sorry, I messed up. My sincere apology. This is on me. I finally come to the understanding that I chose the wrong guy to coach this football team. And so with that, Poles had finally seen enough and decided to part ways with Matt Eberflus. I don't care what was said about Ryan Poles in terms of him being dumb for making Flus the head coach. I care about the actions in which he took, realizing change was needed. And I think he finally figured it out and knows he was wrong. It was failure at the highest level, and you couldn't keep him around much longer. And who knows? As nice as Poles was to him, Eberflus would have been better off just admitting the mistake than trying to defend it. I think at this point, he was just coaching for his job. And as I brought up a couple of weeks ago, Flus was on the hot seat. And I think we're going to see effort from a team that could look better on the offensive side of the ball with him gone. And we knew he really didn't know what he was doing. And so at last, the coach who could have done a better job of managing the clock is finally gone. I mean, a good team would have been a good team would have been bad with this coaching staff led by the abject failure. The overriding problem wasn't about Matt Eberflus trying to find who has the mental fortitude on the team. The issue at hand was that the team was so poorly coached. It started from the top. How much worse did it have to get before you finally realized he was a terrible coach? I really don't know how many more chances they could have given him. I don't know how much more of this you could take. Flus could have kept getting away with this. I mean, it had gotten out of hand. I've been saying it for the last couple of weeks after the Patriots lost. He didn't know what he was doing. Get him out. When you listen to the man talk during press conferences, he said some of the most asinine things with the most ridiculous logic. And instead of him owning up to the fact that he made the same mistake as last time or bearing any responsibility, he defended his decision. The man literally thinks he handles everything the right way. Like, just admit you screwed up. You can't defend that decision on Thursday. It was indefensible. It's easy to say this was on the players. That's what a person would do when they can't take accountability. You place the blame on somebody else and not yourself. That's what he does. This game, you had a chance to win on the road in Detroit against a very good Lions team. You had 30 seconds left and a timeout in your pocket, and that's what you do? Call a timeout. At worst, the Bears have a shot to tie the game with a field goal at the end of regulation, and you run one play in the last 32 seconds. That's the ball game. There's 32 seconds left in the game, and his team doesn't take a timeout. I was just at a loss of words. And him attempting to give an explanation during post-game interviews was a waste of time and energy. An explanation will never be good enough. His explanations were never great. They were usually unwordy. And nobody wanted to hear him every week after a loss try to explain himself. I think we handled it the right way, Eberflus tells a reporter following the 23-20 loss. His definition of the right way is far different from everyone else's. He's the only one who thinks that way. And I would think a comment like that is what would get you fired immediately after that game. And at this point of the season, you don't want to hear that. The emotions you feel, your feelings are valid. You have every right to feel whatever emotion you want about the Bears. You're already emotional, seeing the kind of year it has turned out to be. It's understandable. A whirlwind of emotions and everything. You're done with all the excuses for why this happened, why Eberflus didn't call a timeout, or what the hell he was thinking. And I definitely don't want to see a late game decision cost my team the game. This was a fireable offense. What are you doing? What are you thinking? What's going on in your head there? You could have called a timeout with 15 seconds left. The fact that Eberflus had a timeout and decided to not use it as time runs out while in field goal range is just one of the worst coaching blunders I've ever seen. And just for that, he should have been fired last night. Poor coaching has cost the Bears 4 games this season. That can't happen. It should not happen. The fact of the matter is Eberflus' inability to make smart decisions at the end of the game was his demise. You have frustrated Bears fans lamenting and voicing out their unhappiness about Eberflus' incompetent and poor clock management late in the game that cost the Bears potentially a chance to send the game to overtime with a field goal. I'm a reality person who wants to live in the truth. And sometimes that hurts for a lot of people. There's no other way around it. Eberflus just wasn't a very good coach, and it took the Bears organization this long to figure that out. It took a while, but they eventually saw that he wasn't that guy. Thanks for watching, everyone. Really appreciate the love and support. Hope you guys are enjoying your Black Friday. It's overcast out here, but I love it. It's nice today. It's going to be hot this weekend. It's going to be a warm one for us here in Southern California, but it's nice. It's nice. I enjoyed my Thanksgiving last night. I enjoyed my holiday yesterday. It was nice, peaceful. Had family with me. Just a great day, and I hope you guys had a great one as well, and I hope you guys have a great weekend as well. But we'll talk again very soon. I'll be back with more content, most likely today, as always. That's what your boy does. So we'll talk again very soon. Thanks for watching, everyone. Don't forget, if you haven't already, do me a huge favor, hit the subscribe button, and hope to see you guys soon.